I'm resending my little alert because it wasn't online. And no one's here, so it really doesn't matter. Nope, that's not the right. That's not the one I want to exit. Get out. Okay. Time to live my captions. Why am I hearing myself? Oh, that's why. I fixed it. You're safe now. Everyone is safe now. We've actually never been safe. Where are all these people coming from? Sorry. I say all these people as if Twitch isn't saying there's like only 3 people. Like, I guess it's just because there were like, no people. Or, which, I expected. At least there weren't any like actual people. Anyway, um, if there is anyone in the chat, hi. Also, if you hear other people talking, that's like normal. I have other people in my house with me. Also, I'm going to replay my latest follower because no one was online to see it. My latest follower thing. There it goes. Why is it Wolf Howl? Sure, why not? Anyway, what? Four, four people? Huh? Performance anxiety. Just kidding. Anyway, you might be asking yourself, what are you doing right now? Uh, uh, Mostly I'm just kind of having a good time, or at least attempting to. I did just, like, right before I went, because, like, when I was, like, still getting my bearings and stuff, like, before, like, because I did a little bit more, investigating into this little tunnel that I'm digging here. Um, oh, some music. So what the hell am I listening to right now? It's Minecraft music. It's okay, everything's fine. Um, Also, please tell me if something's like fucked up, like with my mic or um, with music levels. Because if it's too loud, I don't want eerie no. I don't know what that means, Minecraft. Um, You know, I don't want people to be like, I can't hear anything, you know? And I don't want them to, like, then only tell me, oh, Lord. After it's been a while. More iron. This is actually, like, this is the second time that I've actually found iron. Because, one of the mods I installed, it turned out that it had, like, little, like, almost like a little chest. And I got some of the iron, more iron tools from. So this is just the second time that I've, like, found iron naturally. Because I have a lot more iron tools than you'd expect from someone who's only found iron twice. But it's because I found them already made into tools the second time. I love Deep Slate. Honestly, mostly what I'm doing is kind of like exploring the mods that I've got here, I guess you could say. Cause like, yeah, I found a shit ton of copper. There is so fucking much, dude. Hold on just a second. I want to make sure everything is okay. I found so much. Like, there was so much that it almost like I had like iron pickaxe was like completely, like, it had only been used once, and then it was already like by the time that it finished, because I have the vein miner in because I love myself and I don't like making myself strong. Oh my god, it's happened again. And by the time it had finished, it was like halfway used. I was like, oh, that's a lot of copper. Do I know what I'm gonna use all this copper for? Absolutely the fuck not. There's honestly no telling. What I'm gonna use it for. So, because I don't really know. So this might come as a shock to you, to anyone who's actually, if anyone actually is listening, and it's not just, god damn it, and it's not just like bots or whatever. This might come as a shock, but I don't actually know that much about Minecraft on a structural level. Like, most of what I understand about Minecraft is just, you know, the basic idea of, like, the gameplay or something like that. My existence as a Minecraft player is what the kids nowadays would call basic. Said lightheartedly. Also, it's not just the kids nowadays. It would have been everyone back. Cause like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just like fucking around. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just. My main thing also, I used to play on creative a lot when I was younger. But it wasn't like for building purposes. It was just like, I would do like, I guess like things. I used to dig a big pit, and I would put, creatures in there, and I would kill them all with, like, potions and shit. Then I'd set them on fire. Ah! I should have expected that. That's Deep Slate. I want to use you for things. You're not going anywhere. I'm keeping that shit. Okay, here. There's a strategy to this, so that I don't explode everywhere and die. Well, exploding everywhere and dying is generally considered not good for your health. Ah! Oh. Okay, I'm not dead. Didn't die. Hey guys, you know what's really cool? Being alive. And not being dead. I like that a lot. That's actually one of my favorite things about being alive, is that I am not dead. Because if I was dead, how else would I... Oh, my lord. Oh, god. Retreat! Because if I was dead, how else would I appreciate views like this? Where am I? Where am I? See, I'm supposed to have... There's supposed to be... Ooh. Gold. There's supposed to be... a mod I have that tells me where I am, like what biome I'm in, but for some reason it's not doing that. I don't know why it doesn't want to do that. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, that's where the dripping is coming from. But of course. I should put down some torches where I came in. That might be a good idea. Oh, fucking shit. Alright. Die. I would say kill yourself, but then I wouldn't get any EXP or anything from killing you, so. There's a spider around here somewhere. Nice. Give it to me. There's a glow squid that's gonna definitely die soon. Oh, there he is. There's the glow squid. Hey there, little buddy. These things are so funny to me because they just die. They can't live. They're not meant to live. I think. Like they were born simply to die. And I think there is kind of something beautiful about that. Where are you? Yeah, there you are. I knew you were following me. Come on. Yeah, that's right. Anyway. Alright, let's get rid of this. I don't need that. Hello? Oh, thank you. Yes, I felt it. It was cold. Sorry, I just got food. I might be all alone now. It says there's only one viewer. And usually when it says that, that means that that's just me. But there were people here before, so I'm gonna count that as a success. That there were people here who weren't me, even though they didn't say anything, which is fine. They're allowed to not say things. I'm gonna say a lot of things. I'm gonna say so many things. I'm pretty good at saying things, I found. I'm pretty good. Fuck. I hear it. Ah! It was in front of me the whole time. I was too. Oh, it's okay. I never really understood Minecraft mechanics until I started my Minecraft Forever world. Yeah. Oh, the Minecraft Forever world that's the whole thing where it's like a world that you have like forever, like it's like you hold on to it. What the hell is that? Ah! Jeepers! Get away from me! Ah! I'm being swept away downstream. Good heavens! But no, I'm just kind of, you know, going by vibes type thing, you know, just having fun. Also, hello, hello, I recognize you. Yeah, that's great. I don't really have any like that I know. Like theoretically, like okay, so when I was younger, I had definitely had worlds like that I would like keep coming back to. But the thing is that like okay, so the way that I first got introduced to Minecraft was Minecraft on the Xbox. Um, so it was through kind of a different way. I think that a lot of people today, I don't know how common it is um, for people to have their first Minecraft nowadays. I don't know how common it is for them to have their first Minecraft experience on the Xbox. Because I knew back when I was a kid, it wasn't super duper common. Because most people at the time I got into it, we got into it like right when it was released for Xbox. so most of the time, in most cases, if you were meeting someone who played Minecraft, they had played it, from the computer version. I need to figure out a way to get myself back to where I got into this hole so I can get out of this hole and go home. Now, I can always kill myself because I have keep inventory on. But I don't really want to do that. I do want to try to find my way back because I know I can't. Fuck. Sorry, I'm senile. It's not this. Where did I go? Where did I come down? Where did you come down? At myself. Ah! God damn it. You could also call this Old Man Fails at Minecraft, if you'd like. I'm just kidding. I'm not really failing. It was one of my first Minecraft introductions. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm playing on a totally legal version of Minecraft that I just so happened to get for free. Wink wonk. Uh, so I understand. Where? I came from somewhere. I know it's not. It can't be too far from here. Oh, I also have like a bunch of mods. I also have like a bunch of mods. So. Oh, I hear an Enderman. Hello, Enderman. That's quite a way to fall. Oh, thank God. Oh, God. Why is everything in its mother over here? Almost. Yeah! Let's go, gunpowder! Woo! Yay! Yippee! 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 Get out of my inventory. Biome and food mods are honestly some of the best. There it is! Alright, time to escape. I knew I could do it. I'll eat a hot dog in celebration. Where am I? See, I've never had no. I've never. I have never organically been to the end. This is to say, um, I've never done it like not in creative, and not without playing with my siblings because I didn't really see a point to it. I was like, who cares? And I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think Elytra existed the last time I did that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long Elytras have existed, but I know they haven't existed for all of Minecraft. I'm pretty sure, right? Like they're not like an always feature. Like they're something that were added in at some point. I've been. That's so real of you, honestly. Hop, 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 hop. Hippity hoppity. Anyway, I currently have a house carved into the side of a mount. It's just a little hole, basically. My little hidey hole. And I'm not gonna use it for it. What's over here? What is that? What's that, brother? Um, oh, it's just a natural formation that looks a little silly. Oh, cool. Yes, yeah, no, yeah. That was 2016 is the year I moved out, I think. Yeah. So, I moved in with my grandparents. I moved out of my parents' house. So, yeah. No. Oh yeah. My settlement is over that way somewhere. But I made a little what I'm calling my ugly house TM. I like it. I think my ugly house is cute. But like it's just cuz like it's meant to be kind of a temporary dwelling. I think it's really funny when people call me that because, number one, it's an AAVE term. I don't know if you've heard me talk about it in the server before, but it is a term that was appropriated um, by the wider internet. Um, but um, but it's funny because it's like usually when you see like black people using the word, it's almost always to describe men who could be like grandfather age, like at the very least, like or at the very least they're like in their 40s. Like I think that if you're younger than 40, there's absolutely where did I carve it out? Where are you? It's around here somewhere. It's in the cherry blossom. Ah, there you are. Um, but um, it's like always like at the very least the man that you are referring to as Unk is like 40 because like while it technically like etymologically is a shorthand term of the word, that made me feel sick. Um, slash lighthearted, but like oh that makes me feel ill. 16? Are you kidding me? Who's calling them Unk, a 9-year-old? Like, it's like, yeah, of course, when you're a kid, you think, like that John Mulaney bit about how he had the babysitter, hi, Daz. Hi. But that John Mulaney bit about how he had the babysitter who was, like, he was 8 and he thought she was, like, a grown woman and then found out she was 13 or something. Or if he was 9. And it's like, that's what it feels like. It's like, yeah, when you're a 9-year-old, you think 16 is Unk because you're 9. You don't have any, like, frame of reference. Speaking of people who are at least 40, hi, Dad. How you doing, bud? But, like, no, Unk does not refer to someone my age. And in fact, if any of the men in my family who would be called Unk heard people calling me that, they would probably laugh until they threw up. Now, if I can yap just a little bit about why I don't like for people to call me old without my consent. I don't know if you have been around to hear me say I do not want people who don't know me very well to call me old, unless I'm like already joking about it. The reason why, um, is first of all personal reasons. I don't like it. It's not because I think that like being old is bad or I'm scared to get old. It's not about that at all, actually. Um, First of all, I'm not old. Like that's one of the main reasons because autism TM, and I'm just not old. But second of all is because of the no, you're fine, it's fine. um um like I'm excluding Unk from this for just a second because like while it is supposed to refer to someone who's old, I know that a lot of people, especially non-black people, um are not using it to in its proper function, so to speak. So just for a second I'm going to ignore that. You need to go in here, actually. Go in the barrel. Get in the barrel. Do a barrel roll. Um, the, um, the reason it bothers me is because there is a growing, and there always has been, this idea that, like, you've got to do everything you want to do, like, either when you're a teenager or in your 20s, because after that point, you're basically dead. You're old and dead. Or like you're gonna be old or really soon, so there's no point in trying anything new or in like reinventing your life or anything like that. You have to do everything you want to do in your 20s, or that's it, you can't do it. And when I was younger, like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming probably when I was around your age, I was so stressed out about the fact that it seemed like my life wasn't going anywhere, that I might as well not live, because I was like, I've only got like 2 years, stuff like that, like to figure out my entire life, and I don't even know like really who I am, and it was it stressed me out, and to the point where, you know, I ended up kind of shooting myself in the foot in a lot of ways. Hi. Hello. Um, nice to see someone from the YouTube chat. Hi. Um, it's okay. Um, but I don't know how to set up the YouTube chat to go in my little widget. Which, you know, it'd be like that. But anyway, um, I'll figure it out one day. But and it was like it was awful, and I hate this culture that basically tells young people, like, you know, you have to do everything so fast because it ends up creating people like me. Um, and I'm lucky enough that I was able to push past it and didn't end up, you know, doing something drastic. But you know, I'm not the only person, and there are definitely people who have, because they're like, well, I'm 21 and I don't have my whole life figured out, so I might as well, you know, just not live. And it's like, no, dude, you're so young. Like, the average human lifespan is 80 years. Hi, waves. Um, oh, it's Tolka. Oh, hi, Tolka. I was like, I feel like I recognize the username, but I'm not. It's not ringing a bell. And then all of a sudden, it was ringing a bell. It's like, oh, wow, it's Tolka. What the fuck am I hearing in my ear? Anyway, um, no, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, because you do the VA stuff. But oh, that's right. I need to yeah. But I don't like the oh wow, that's crazy. Oh my god, you're playing Minecraft? Well, I'm playing Minecraft. Watching that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But I just don't like the sentiment behind the idea of, like, you know, you gotta you gotta live your life fast or something like that. Like, it's just not okay. Smooth stone, furnace, iron ingot. I think I have that. Do I? Oh no, no, I don't, because I need smooth stone, not just stone. Can can it be created with regular stone? Fuck me. Get that shit out of here. Get those brownies out of here, god damn it. Slash reference. Stone cutter. I like that the stone cutter doesn't do anything. I like that it doesn't hurt you. I think that's really funny. How do you make smooth stone? Okay, alright. Yeah, it can be a very harmful mindset. And also, like, it also feels deeply rooted in the fear of getting old, and it's like, dude, getting old is not a bad thing. It's like, in a way, it's kind of scary because it's like it's a state of being that you've never existed in, you know. So, like, obviously, it's gonna be kind of intimidating, kind of frightening. Um, stone. Oh, I have to. Oh, I have to melt the stone again. Okay. But like, um, it's not a bad thing. And I definitely don't want people reinforcing that belief with me because I don't believe that. Like, there was a period of time where, you know, I'm not gonna trump it up or anything. I'm just gonna share my life experience, which kind of is like, because of how much trauma is in my life, it's kind of like inevitable. But you know what I mean. Listen, this isn't meant to, like, oh, it's not meant to upset you. It's just meant to be like, you know, this is how it is. But there was a very long period in my life where every time I would reach a major, like, birthday milestone, like starting I think when I was 16, like with my like because like the feeling started before then. But it wasn't like uh it didn't it didn't really start until then. Because that was like my first milestone birthday that this mindset could manifest in. Um, that I simply wasn't gonna make it to the next milestone. Like when I think when I was like actually it may have been when I was 13. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna make it to 16. You know, because I was so suicidal and so depressed and like no one liked me. You know, I was not, or at least it felt like no one liked me. You know, I was in such a bad place. I was like, well, I'm just not gonna make it to age. I'm not gonna make it to 16. I'm not gonna make it to 18. I'm not gonna make it to 21. And then my 21st birthday came, and I had a wonderful time with my very good friend Tori, who I've been friends with for a very long time. And by a very long time, I mean very long time. Like I think we met when I was 17, and I don't remember how much younger she is than me. I think she's like 4 years younger than me, so I think she was 13 or 14. Because I think it was the year I turned 18. I just wasn't 18 yet. Um, there we go. Cranking up the heat. Blast furnace time, kids. Papa's got a blast furnace. Nothing can possibly go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong. But I don't know what a blast furnace actually does. Oh yeah, that's right. You do. That's what you do with it. Yeah. Um, I didn't have no. I did. This is the iron that I needed to smelt that I took. I did in fact do that. But my 21st birthday came and I had a great time and I didn't even think that. I didn't even realize until after, like way after, I was like, oh, I didn't think it this time. And it's like, for a real long time in my life, I didn't think I would make it past like 18. I put my cap at 18. I was like, either I'm gonna kill myself or someone's gonna kill me before I turn before I turn 18. And then that didn't happen. And I had no life plan. And I thought, you know, uh, for sure, that my life would fall apart or whatever. But it didn't. I didn't. I kept going, and things got better, which is like can be kind of a cheesy thing that people say, especially like adults sometimes. Be kind of a cheesy thing. Oh, it gets better. And it can also be a message I think that isn't. How do I put this? It is a message that does not hit as well when the person delivering it has experienced significantly less, like I guess you could say, difficulties, like in their life, or like they dealt with it in a way that was like healthier, or they had more support, something like that. And I will say, I'm lucky that I have had like a lot of support in my life. I've had levels of support that a lot of queer people my age and even younger don't have. Um, but let it be known that just because my family was supportive in that area of my life doesn't mean they were in others. Because they certainly were not. I've had a very hard time with a lot of things relating to them. Um, Experiment time. Sorry, I just want to see how much faster it is. Like, because they're faster. Yeah, they're faster. That's right, yeah. Sorry. So, like, going from, like, you can take it from me, I guess it is that, um, things can get and do often, get better. Um, Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they just kind of happen to get better. Like, there were things, like, for example, like I said, I moved out of my parents' house. Um, that was causing me a lot of issues. And I moved in with my grandparents who were so incredibly supportive um, of me and of everything I wanted to do. Um, and that's very lucky. A lot of people especially, you know, young queer people, have parents and grandparents who have want nothing to do with them, which, by the way, can't fucking fathom that. I don't even have any kids yet, but I want to have kids. You may or may not know this, depending on your relationship with me, as in whether you know me or not. Um, but I want to have kids really badly. I don't even have any yet, and I cannot fathom there being any reason why I would be like, actually, no, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. Like, my child could murder someone in cold blood, and I would still not be like, I would still not disown them. That doesn't mean I'd be like, you know what, the murder was justified. It may be, I don't know, like, hypothetically, like, it could be. You know, it doesn't have to be. But I still wouldn't be like, actually, you're not my kid anymore, and I want nothing to do with you. You're a disgrace. I will never speak to you again. Like, no, that will never happen. Never, never. Oh my god, you feel so swag for knowing me? That's great. Also, it sounds like I have food in my mouth. I do. I'm eating. Ooh, what's that advancement mean? Oh, okay. Oh, why are you scared? Tolka, my dear friend Tolka. My very good close friend Tolka. Anyway, if you guys, by the way, if you guys have any suggestions for number one, what to do with all this fucking copper, and number two, uh, like building plans for my beautiful home, as in not this house, not this little thing that I've carved into this mountain here, please let me know because I don't know. So my birthday is tomorrow. Oh, you hate surprise. No, I get that. My fiance, his I think it's his QPP, does not like um birthday celebrations really like at all. I think unless he's like, you know, the one being like, yo, I want to do this. Um, and he is not at all down with surprise parties. So I'm so sorry that people. That's such a weird like cultural thing. I feel like the thing like, oh yeah, surprise parties are always great. People always love them. Well, no, some people straight up hate to be surprised, especially if you are like certain types of neurodivergent, perhaps, which thrive on having a schedule for things, and all of a sudden, schedule is this like Kunikita, Kunikita from Bungo Stray Dogs re- I'm normal. This is a lie, by the way. I am probably one of the most abnormal people that you'll ever meet in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hearing that it does get better is moving. Realizing there's been people and things similar and worse, and maybe some mindsets got better and changed at least. Yeah, it's always when you're in that hole. Like, I also want to say that I feel like some of the advice. Uh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Coco. What the hell? Um, I feel like if you're gonna throw your friend a birthday party, you should probably listen to what they want for their birthday. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that take is a little too woke, a little too controversial for some people. Um, but okay, pumpkin just fucking grew there, I guess. Um, but but it does like when I feel like some people are like super invalidating. That one friend that's too woke and it's common boundary. No, literally. I feel like some people can be really invalidating also when you're in that mindset. Um, because like when you're in that mindset of like, you know, my life will never change or get better, it's easy for a lot of people to be like, oh, well, you're just being dramatic, you know, stuff like that. Like you're just you know, you're just exaggerating. It's like, well, it's all in your head. Well, no fucking duh, it's all in my head. But see, the problem is that my head controls the rest of me as a person. So if there's something wrong with my head, there's something wrong with the rest of me. Like, you can't function without your brain. At least, not yet. So, if my brain has a problem, that means all of me has a problem. You know, like that's kind of just how it works. So I've always hated that where it's like, oh well, it's just you just feel like being like, oh yeah, you just feel that way and then not offering you anything, you know. And one thing that's like so I've always been a big believer in age isn't like a limitation, so to speak. Like obviously you're not limited by the fact that you are, very young. Um and like stuff like that. Like you're never too young to experience something and you're never too old to like start some, stuff like that, blah blah blah. Yeah, and it's like I remember a lot of times when I would bring up how I felt when I was a child, sometimes my parents my mom actually did this more often. Um may have just been because I talked to her more often, but I don't know. Me and my stepdad have a relationship, let's put it at that. It sure is a relationship. um but we didn't talk much for a lot of reasons. Um that's right, there's a beehive. I was gonna do some stuff with that. I found a beehive a little ways away. It's raining though, so I'm gonna have to wait. But I can still get the stuff I need for the hive. Um but first I need to wait, did I make another pickaxe? I did not. I did not make another pickaxe. Let me do that. Like she would bring up like, well, there's that, but also like my mom would bring up like her experiences, which were, the way that it was being presented and also through my eyes a lot worse. And it would, even if she was like not actively downplaying what I was going through, it felt like what she was indirectly saying was, you don't have the right to be sad about this because I've been through so much worse and I just dealt with it. Now, first of all, what I would say to her now, which, I've also said this, I've actually said this directly to my grandmother, as in the words I'm about to say, was that shouldn't have happened to you either. Like, which honestly blows a lot of adults' minds right out of the water. I cannot tell you how many people who were like, you know, a decade or two older than me, or, even more, um, because I actually, believe it or not, I have known throughout my life a lot of people, and I'll get on that a little bit later on how I don't like the way that a lot of young people nowadays talk about older people, but that's a different thing. I'll get to that. Um, and trust, it's not going to go the way that you're expecting. It's not like a respect your elders type thing. It's an entirely different discussion I'm going to have. But like, saying things like that shouldn't happen to you either absolutely blows a lot of people's minds, because they probably definitely never heard that one before. But like, also it was always like, well, just even if what she was saying was true, positing was true, like, oh, that she had been through worse than me, that doesn't mean anything. There will always be someone out there who has a worse life than you, like, just kind of objectively. But that doesn't mean that you don't have anything to complain about. If the worst pain in your life that you have ever experienced is a sore throat or a jammed pinky, then no duh, you're not going to have the same concept of what hurts as somebody who's had their femur broken, which is generally widely considered to be the worst pain that any human can feel. Because, like, some people argue childbirth, but not every human can feel childbirth. Not every human is able to give birth, but every human, theoretically at least, is able to break their femur. Um, Unless you don't have legs, which some people don't. But, like, at least in theory, um, it's something that every human could theoretically experience. Again, unless they are missing limbs. Um, and if that's the worst pain you've ever felt, obviously you're gonna have a different idea for like what hurts really bad. But that other person has never felt that pain. How are they supposed to know? Like, why are they supposed to shut up and stop crying you know, because I've had a broken femur. Like, okay, well, I haven't. It's like, yeah, mom, I'm sorry that you like went through that, but that doesn't mean that what I'm going through doesn't hurt. Fun science fact of the day. Did you know that generally speaking, when a teenager goes through a breakup, they experience effectively the same level of emotion as an adult going through a divorce. Like, because that is your divorce when you're a teenager. And in some ways, it's like more similar to divorce than it is to anything else because your friend groups can be torn apart, like, because depending on how you break up, um, like you because if there's like a whole you know you got to pick a side type thing like that never happened to me because I was never attractive enough for anyone to really want to date until well I'll get to that story. It's very funny. um um but or anything like that, but like I've heard of it happening, you know, of like basically like you know your friend group gets kind of torn in different directions. Sometimes there is abuse involved, you know, about teens. um which by the way is like when I don't know how valuable this was at the time, but when I was in I think I was in high school at the time because when I was this was when I was living in Florida. So TLDR Cholor. Also, yes, that's how you pronounce my name. It's Cho. Because it's shortened form of chocolata, which is the Italian word for chocolate. You do not need to worry about where the name comes from. It's not important, I promise. Um, this is a joke. It's a JoJo reference. Um, but no, yeah. The Cho lore is basically I was born well technically I was born in Georgia, but like I never lived there. It's okay, Tolka. I forget. Most people say it that way until like the only people who don't pronounce it that way are my friends who were JoJo fans before like while I you know like when I started using the name because they knew all about my dirty little secret. I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Anyway, um the Cho lore was I was born hee hee. I was technically born in Georgia, but I didn't ever live there, so will just say I was born in Georgia and South Carolina, TM. But I was raised in South Carolina until I was 12. Um, and then we moved to Florida because I don't know if you know about this or how many people here. I know that at the very least, Daz will know what I'm talking about if he's still here. Um, but the 2008 recession was a jet. No, I think it's not that I think that. Okay, here. The problem isn't the chocolate hate, I guess you could say, because it makes sense as to why people don't like him. The problem is why people don't like him. Like why people say they don't like him, and I'm like, he didn't do that shit. Like that's not. I don't know where you got that from, but that's not what he did. But Daz at the very least was here for like a minute. Anyway, I could go yeah. So the 2008 recession and crisis and stuff like that, my stepdad actually lost his job, but he found another job. But unfortunately, it was in Florida. And then for like 2 years, he actually went back and forth between Florida and South Carolina. Where we were selling our house, um, and then um, and then we fully moved. We all fully moved down to what cutie? Sorry, my fiance is here with me. It's crazy too because I actually it's so funny. Well, actually, I would argue Malone is the Mori of JoJo, because Malone get behind me, Malone
Malone, my baby girl, get behind me.
um his stand doesn't work like that. The fucking fandom. But what if it did though, and he was actually evil? Can you wait, love? Come here, just for like 15 seconds. Yeah, that's why I said for like 15 seconds. Anyway, um, I got a crash course in being a Mori liker, um, from both having to defend Malone and sometimes Chocolata, because um, this is gonna make absolutely no sense to anyone in the chat who doesn't know anything about JoJo, and I know that I'm jumping around. I choose. Oh, see, that sucks because Malone is like great. I like Malone. He's really cool. I gave him dead child trauma. All my faves get dead. Well, I say quote dead child trauma. It was a miscarriage, but I feel like that counts. I just want to elaborate. He didn't even have that in the manga. That's only an anime thing. Yeah, he didn't even. Yeah. Oh. So I don't know if you know this, Tolka, but in the manga, when Malone finds Prosciutto and Pesci, um, no, you're not. Sorry. But when he finds Prosciutto and Pesci, he's shaking. Like he's shaking. Because of the state that he finds their body in. Desperate times call for desperate. What the fuck is this? Desperate times call for your dad. They keep saying she owes them money and they're from the IRS, but I don't believe it. I don't believe the IRS exists. Much like I don't believe in that most of the states in the Midwest actually exist. Literally, manga Malone, they could never make me. They could, honestly, they really couldn't make me hate anime Malone either. He's not that bad. He's just kind of a freak. And for some reason, people couldn't handle that. I do think it's funny because on the one side of JoJo fandom, you have. That's the crazy thing too. I'm sorry about the tangent into fucking JoJo land, but don't worry, it's fine. Thank you. I love you. Also, yes, that he is actually my fiance. In case anyone wanted to know, because I know that I have, like I have some young friends who joke about like, oh, my wife or my husband or whatever. But I just want to let you know, in case there are any young people in the chat, I am also a young people, but I am actually engaged. So like he is actually just my fiance. You, me, me? Sorry, you can't hear him, but he's making comments. So he's making comments after this hard. But like I think it's funny because you've got like this big split between like the weird extreme JoJo people. Oh no, I meant like the other person who was talking in chat who isn't Daz is like is an actual like minor person. I think I don't know how old because I don't ask those questions. But heavily redacting stuff on my IS to prove I'm not young people. No, it's so funny how often people straight up don't ID. How often people don't believe that you are the age that you say that you are. It's so fucking funny. It doesn't help that you also call me, dad sometimes because, well, I'm younger than you. But we all understand why. We all understand why I'm the father figure in this relationship and not Daz. I sure hope we understand. um, said affectionately. Well, you are of course in the minority, but that is a pretty big Ooh, oh, that's right. There are clocks in Minecraft. Camper later, baby. It's only 12:15. Not now, Kitchen Whiskers. Slash reference. I don't actually call him that. His little rabbit. Does he call you that? No. But you are the youngest person ever. I can make pumpkin bread? That's epic. Anyway, I love food mods. Oh, can I make a gun? Oh shit. Oh shit. I can make a couple guns. Oh yeah, Daz, I got a gun mod. I feel like I should have told you that earlier. I should have said that when you popped up. Ammo type pistol. Wait, no. I have some ammo. What is it? It's rifle ammo. I only have the one gun mod because one time I got multiple. Revolver. What do I have? It's rifle ammo, isn't it? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at all those uses on it. Damn. Shit. No, no, I don't want to use you yet. Get in there. I have rifle ammo, though. What the fuck? Oh. What the fuck, Richard? Also a funny meme because, my name is Richard. Um, but no, block of iron and redstone. Oh. Bolt action rifle. What is this? Oh. Need diamonds and shit. Pistons. Netherite ingot. Oh, well, that's because that's a machine gun. That makes sense. I guess I'm gonna have to go to the fucking nether. Anyway, but yeah, I don't remember why I was talking about where I grew up, but I did, yeah, that's right, sorry. Back to that thing. Because I was talking about, like, domestic violence between teenagers. Very funny thing to jump back to. But, aw, Pearl has done that before. What the fuck is an echo shard? Oh, isn't it from the fucking wardens and shit? Anyway, when I was in Florida, so it was in Florida, and I was in high school. I'm pretty sure, not because the school that I went to in Florida was a junior senior high. And in case you don't know what that means, it means that it's a high school and a middle school together. So instead of going from just the high school ages, it went from oh, there's the ravens. It went from seven. Well, no, wait. Yeah, I went. I think it went from seventh. Yeah, it went from seventh grade to to seniors. Where did the crap? Where did the raven go? Did it go away in the time that it took me to get the fucking? I guess it must have. The time it took me to get the seeds, it completely disappeared. Oh well. Oh wait, no, there it is. But it's flying away. Are they helium balloons? Anyway, oh, in a second, I'm chewing. Ah, let's not choke. That would be a good idea to not choke. That'd be really cool. Let's not do that. Um, wait, how do I craft the ammo then? Oh, well that's simple. Um, I like breathing. Breathing's really cool. Um, but when I was in that age in school, I we had a short. It was like a 1 day like presentation thing. Like someone came in and taught us about like domestic violence between teenagers, and the number of boys who I witnessed in that class, like presumably cisgender boys, at least at the time, like come to the realization that they either had been or were being like basically domestically abused in relationships was astounding. And I feel like that should be something that every school has, because every time I see people talk about, how, oh, men overwhelmingly commit domestic violence, I wonder if it really is overwhelming, because the fact of the matter is a lot of men either A, don't know what domestic violence is or what it looks like, and therefore wouldn't be able to accurately say whether it happened to them or not, or B, are told that it only happens to women. Like, oh, this is what it looks like, but it only happens to women. Only women are victims of this. And typically, in that messaging is and typically in that messaging is also that only men can commit that said violence, which is also it's equally dismissive of women who are victims of women, or who are victims of people who are not men or women. So, and it's interesting too, as a transgender man, in case that wasn't already crystal clear, um, that the whole like rhetoric of like, well, I was abused by men, so I don't like them, which is interesting because while I was abused by women, mostly women, like a lot of the worst abuse that happened to me were either from girls my age or from like older women, because old women. Obviously my stepdad was the exception to this, but he was pretty much like the only like significant male figure who actually like acted abusively towards me, because no, like also that's such a fucking gross way of looking at it. Like, oh, now you have an excuse to like have be bigoted towards an entire group of people. Are you listening to yourself? Like, are you listening to yourself? Like, because that's kind of what it is. It's bigotry. I mean, not kinda. That is what it is. It's bigotry. Like, regardless of whether it's deserved or not. Like, it's bigot. Like, the thing is too is I always think about like, okay, so I don't talk about him very often because I didn't know the guy, but my biological grandfather, um, because the grandfather that I talk about frequently, technically was not my biological grandfather. This does not matter at all, for the record. I don't really bring it up outside of like just talking about this particular like if I'm talking about my biological grandfather, because he was a very different person. Um, as you'll come to see. Um, but he was, when he was a child, he was abused very badly by his mother's first boyfriend and then husband, who was gay. And he was homophobic for the rest of his life. And while it's not, while I don't not see where he's coming from, like theoretically, like the logic that he was using is the same one that a lot of people use to justify, this like weird blind hatred of men. And it's like, look, I'm not gonna say that like, oh well, you just have to like get over it or whatever, like just suck it up or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that a rose by any other name or whatever, it's like it's bigotry, which is also goes back to the thing I mentioned earlier about like ageism. Really funny topics for a Minecraft stream, I think personally. I'm a, I'm just, you just never know what I'm gonna do. But like, that topic of like age discrimination. Because like, yeah, there are a lot of shitty old people out there, but there's also like a lot of shitty young people and a lot of shitty uh, young adults and middle-aged people out there. And it feels like, especially nowadays, disproportionately, there is this weird level of hatred that is waged towards young children and the elderly. And it's funny because you know who are historically some of the least powerful groups, generally speaking? The elderly and children. Now, we do live in what's considered a gerontocracy, because a lot of the people who hold the most wealth and power are old. But the thing is that's not old people as a class. that is rich people who are now old, and so it's like it's a gerontocracy. Generally speaking, age is considered like is kind of valued, but only to a certain point. And I've had to make this argument before because people don't believe me. You know, like I've gotten into like some, well, at least other people have argued, because like I tried not to get to like actually arguing, because I much prefer to have reasonable discussion, which does not include like actual like arguing. A debate to me does not include like yelling at each other and fighting, because they hurt. Yeah, exactly. Well, there's also like, you know, I feel like even with the whole like I'm not okay around them currently thing, it's like at that only works if we're talking about like your house or like your personal space, like as in like the space that is immediately surrounding you. That excuse no longer works when you go anywhere outside of those spaces. So basically anywhere in public, um and online. Like, sure, you can say I don't want men to follow me on my blog, but that's still kind of weird. Honestly, I think it's like honestly almost more weird, because like you're not even directly interacting with them. Like I just don't want to see any men. And it's like, well, I'm so sorry, but there are no laws that say that men have to stay inside of their house and away from you specifically. So you're gonna have to see them, and you're gonna have to deal with that. And it's not up to me to figure out how you deal with that. Well, yeah, no, that's different. Yeah, that's not what I mean. Like again, like I'm saying, like there's also, like you said, the difference between I have some serious trauma regarding I'm not okay around them currently, because usually the implication with that is that you're working on it. You know, like you're working on being okay with that. But the people who say the first one are like usually not. They are kind of trapped in what I call sometimes eternal victimhood. And no, this is not the same as being a victim, because, and I'm not talking about like, well, there's people who just let themselves be victims, and there's people who pick themselves up by their bootstraps. I'm not, that's not the lesson that I'm trying to impart here. I'm talking, there are people who chuck a lot of fans DNI, and they're in the JoJo fans, and all I did was like an edit knob and enemy. That's crazy. Also, because like, that also goes back to the whole like, um, issue of not being able to separate. I actually recently just reblogged a post about this. But about like where people have gotten to the point where to them fictional characters are no longer fictional; they are like real people. So the act of enjoying a fictional character is the same as like supporting a real person to them, but only insofar as it applies to what they decide it applies to. And like that's the most, I guess, illuminating part of this to try that I try to point out when I'm trying to get people to like consider their position is like, okay, what about your Blorbo? Like, someone could argue this about your Blorbo also. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of cases. Because, like especially with, yeah, I will also say DNIs don't really work at all. Um, because if we're talking about, like, it's like, yeah, sure, okay, DNIs work the most with, like, DMs and conversations. But they also don't really work at all. Because someone who is gonna violate your boundaries is gonna violate your boundaries. The real thing that DNIs do, and I reblogged a post about this a while ago, is it is virtue signaling in a lot of ways. Um, you're basically saying, look how good I am because I don't let these people interact. Again, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about the culture around having DNIs. Um, because recently this also became a discussion on Twitter where people were like, I don't trust if you don't have a DNI because that means you're cool with racists interacting with you. And it's like, I really don't think I should have to say racists don't interact for people to know that I don't like racists. Turtle's just yeah, I figured. I know. Well, I know it's a joke because I know you talk to Turtle all the time. In DMs, no less. Um, fake hater, I saw you liking that person. Slash meme. Um, but like, no, I heard you heard me. Yeah, no, I said fake hater. I saw you liking that person. Um, No! I did not say that. I definitely did not say that. If it's a valid reason to not interact, it's not a DNI, it's a boundary. Well, yeah, but there's also, like, if someone who is that keen on violating boundaries exists around you, they're gonna violate your boundaries. No level of DNI is gonna stop them. So you kind of just have to stop them yourself. And it's also not, it's usually not hard to pick those people out. Like, when they do, like they tend to show their colors pretty fast. You don't have, well, the thing is, too, about that, which is, um, what we like to call in the business cult mentality. Like, I'm not, yeah, no, I don't, there's a reason, there are multiple reasons why I don't align with any, label on that, on the quote, shipping spectrum. And it's because it legitimizes what is, at its core, an illegitimate argument. Because you cannot judge fiction by the same way standards that you judge real life in. Now, this isn't to say that real life does not influence fiction or that fiction cannot influence real life, because we know those to be false. But usually what people say and what they hear, like what's being said and what's being heard in these discussions, are like two very different things. Um, but also, recently, I've been watching a lot of, um, Clint's Reptiles. And he does this thing, where he, debunks a lot of, the viral, videos of, that's the stupidest thing you could probably say. He debunks videos from young Earth creationists. Um, but the thing about him is that he himself is a Christian. He stopped being Christian, actually, because, for a period of time, because of a specific, um, young Earth creationist. Oh God, what's his name? Ken Ham, I think. What's his name? Ken Han? Some fucking some. It's Ken something. Not Ken Jennings. Ken Jennings is wonderful insofar as I know. Ken Jennings is a lovely man. Um, he's the, for those unaware, he's the current host of Jeopardy. As far as I'm aware, no problems with Ken Jennings. This guy is not him. DNI for my own satisfaction. Yeah, like the thing with DNIs, yeah, Ken Jennings is the current host of Jeopardy. He became the host of Jeopardy after, Alistair Beck died. He's, aside from like when other people come in to temporarily host, Ken Jennings, I think, is the main host. Pro ship still means pro shipping. That is what it means. It doesn't mean problematic shipping. No one who actually knows anything about the debate uses, the only people I've ever seen say pro shipping means problematic shipping are antis who don't actually know what it means. Now, as I was saying, I've been watching a lot of Clint's Reptiles, and typically Clint's Reptiles does, reptile videos, like what you'd expect him to do, given the name. But he is a Christian man, who also uses he's an evolutionary biologist, but he specifically got his PhD in, discussing, evolution. It's like, discussing controversial topics like evolution in the classroom. And he specifically taught at, Brigham Young University, which, if you don't know what Brigham Young University is, it is the university for Mormons. Like, if you meet a college-educated Mormon, chances are, they went to Brigham Young. It's named after the founder of it, of Mormon, at least one of them. I can't remember if Brigham Young was the guy or if he was one of the three guys who came afterwards who were like, actually, I'm gonna be the next guy. But they all said they were gonna be the next. It's a long story. I'm not here to get into that. Just know that it's Mormon. Wait, I don't know, because I might need that. A very prestigious university with certain majors. Yes. So there are also non-Mormons who have gone to Brigham Young, and gotten, majors there because, it's very prestigious. So it's not just Mormons. It's just that it's mostly Mormons. And none of them, like, were like there were times where, you know, obviously because he taught evolution in a Mormon school, where some of them, a good a good amount of them, were young Earth creationists. Um, and because at the end of he talks about how at the end of the year, like the when you the end of the year, you basically rate your classes when you're doing like your like satisfaction, and it's about like um how did it to paraphrase, this isn't what they say, but this is like, you know, to paraphrase it in a way. How did it make you feel with your like did it make you more or less secure in your religious beliefs? And he consistently scored higher than the like the professors who taught religious classes at the religion school for religion. For some people, it's not just religion. um so needless to say, he's really good at his job. um he's an evolutionary biologist. He was talking to he largely debunks young Earth creationists. He himself is um believes in evolution, but as far as I can tell, he doesn't also not believe that there may have been a creationist element involved. Which there is a word, I forget what the word is called, but there's a word for when religious people, usually of Abrahamic faith, believe in evolution, but they believe that no, it's okay. I kind of got what you meant. I just wanted to make sure. But they believe that God got the ball rolling and then kind of just left it alone, so to speak. So that like technically God did create all things, but he did not create them in their perfect form, which was the traditional belief for a long time. Which was a lot of young Earth creationists do technically accept evolution, just not in its full form. Yes. They accept it insofar as like within like speciation of like a um the Linnaean class, that would be the closest to it would be like families. If you've gotten that far in your schooling education, TM slash silly, or if you remember, um they believe in stuff like families, but not so much in the idea that um an entirely different species can over time become a new species. Like one of the things that they tend to push back against a lot is human evolution, of course. That's a big one. The idea that humans were not made um as humans, so to speak, that we went through multiple phases. But the way that he does it, it's okay. I understand that. The way that he debunks these arguments is with a lot of grace, but also the way that he's pointing it out is he hopes to kind of change the way that people debate with each other, because, and this is something that I've kind of always believed, but then I got like I kind of allowed myself to get a little jaded about for a while, but now I'm like, going back to my original roots. And I promise this relates back to the pro ship discussion. I promise we're gonna loop back around because this relates to it. Um, 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 that the way that you need to engage is obviously with an open heart, open mind, um, but also like not in a mean way. Basically, like okay, it's not a be nice to your oppressors type thing. Um, it's more of a when you're engaging with someone in a discussion and your idea is you want to change their mind, like you want to like, or at least potentially change their mind, you cannot approach it um and allow yourself to fall into, especially straw manning. He does what he likes to call um um god, I think it's Iron Man or Strong Man argument, I think, where he creates he gets the strongest form of the argument his opponent is making, an opponent here is just like in an ideological way, not like in a, he views them as like actual like opponents. It's more as in like, the ideological uh stance that's being taken. Um I need to go get some more sand and gravel so I can make some concrete cement. That's concrete, baby. Um so that basically understanding your opponent's argument in its strongest form, and a lot of that includes, of course, listening and talking to the other person, and not just waiting for your chance to talk, which is also something that I need to get better at. And I promise it's not just because of like disrespect. It's just because like I also have ADHD, so I need to like try to remember what I'm gonna say over and over again before I say it because I might forget it. But that's a different thing. Um, Stop that. Stop putting torches out. Um, Understanding your opponent's argument in its strongest form and arguing against that form of the argument and not making a weak straw man, because not only is straw manning a not a good debate tactic anyway, like it's just not ideologically sound. Um, it also makes you look really bad if you actually like don't understand what it is your opponent is saying, but you act like you do, and you're much more likely to turn them away from whatever it is that you're saying, um, because you're not you're not actually saying what they believe in. You're creating a straw man, and oftentimes it just leaves people frustrated. Um, but he also approaches things with a demeanor that I very much enjoy. The idea that that people are generally good, and that they believe that they are doing good or that they are correct, and like because they believe that it's good and right, and like that doesn't negate or remove any harm that is done by ignorant opinions. And if you were present in the other server for what I was saying this morning, you will notice some similarities in what I'm saying right now. That doesn't mean that we can ignore the fact that some of these positions that these people, the younger creationists hold, that are harmful, and some of the people within them, within the belief uh, set, are harmful. Like the guy I mentioned earlier, Ken Ham, I think his name. I think that's his name. I need to go back, but I'm pretty sure that's his name. Or Kevin Ham, or some shit. Some starts with a K, and so the first name starts with a K, last name starts with an H. Um, but one thing he doesn't do is insult the other side, because obviously that is not conducive to getting anyone to listen to you. No one has ever had their mind changed from being bullied into it, basically. Yeah, like it's like, you know what, I was kind of on board with what you were saying, and then you called me a dumb bitch, and now I'm not on board anymore because fuck you. Even if what you said was correct. Um, and I bring that up in relation to the discussion on pro and anti shipping, because a lot of antis, I believe, are very well intentioned people, and I say this because I used to be one of those very well intentioned people who caused a lot of harm with the things that I said and believed. Uh, I just did. Like, I don't have to know like the individual like victim statements, so to speak, to know that I said and did things, that were deeply harmful and wrong. Uh, that I now, well, I will probably regret to some degree, like forever. Like, I try not to beat myself up over it too much, but like, because that's just not helpful, among other reasons. But I don't know how I'm gonna terraform this. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm probably not going to build my actual house up here. I'm probably gonna build it down here. What are you? I forget what you are. You're some kind of thing. Mouse. So you're a little mouse. They come back. Come back. How about seeds? Do you like seeds? I don't think I don't know. Maybe you don't like seeds. I don't remember how the fuck to tame those things. Um, um, that a lot of them, a lot of people, and I have also noticed that antis are the ones who are more likely to have these, very long DNIs that are largely just performative. And by that, I don't mean that they don't actually, like, think that the people who they're saying have these wrong beliefs are wrong. Like, I'm not saying that they're performative in the sense that they don't actually believe what they're saying type of performative, because I think that they kind of do. um the issue is is less with that and more with, like, okay, so let's think critically for a minute. If someone who was a racist stumbled across your page, do you think someone who is already willing to violate, the general boundary of, like, human encounter, you know what I mean, like, how the social contract that we all follow, to get philosophical with it, is gonna care about your DNI? Do you think someone who is a violent misogynist is gonna care that you said don't DNI if you're a misogynist or if you're transphobic? Do you think that they care? Because they don't. They don't care. And in fact, a lot of them probably don't even think of themselves as being that way. Like, for example, a lot of radfems don't think of themselves as being misogynistic. And I say radfems and not turfs very specifically because while turfs are a type of radfem, there are other non-turf radfems who are just as problematic and just as dangerous. I try not to use the word problematic too much these days because it's become kind of meaningless, but in this term I'm using it just, loosely. Um but like, they have their they because the core tenet of rad feminism is wrong. And at its core, bioessentialist, and no matter how you do it, is going to hurt trans people, because the idea that there is a ontologically good and ontologically dangerous, like an ontologically oppressed gender and ontologically oppressive gender, instead of it being a system of things that is set up, and not, like, inherent to you, like how you're born, but rather the system you were born into, um, is always going to hurt trans people first and foremost, and intersex people also, um, of all kinds, whether they be trans or not. Um, that's a really funny. Sorry, that was a very funny notification to pop up. I left a comment on a Fukumori art that on Pinterest that was someone was talking about, like, oh, this is it's like Mori, it's like because I was helping Mori move in or whatever, and I was like, this is true, I was their moving truck. So it's me, boy, I'm the truck. I'm so southern that I turned into a truck. Podcraft over here, but I'm digging it. Wonderful, thank you. Genuinely, I love it. I love being a podcast, and now I can be a Minecraft podcast. I guess this is like the slightly older equivalent of when they put, like, the Subway Surfers videos up for, like, younger people, like for relatively, like, Gen Alpha, stuff like children. Um, like, this is like the slightly older version of that, yeah. Because, like, this appeals more to, I guess you could say, my generation. Well, not really. I'm an older Gen Z. Like, Minecraft didn't exist for most of my childhood. The fact that they won't care, I take. Yeah, no, that's also fair. Like, does my generation get? Yes, you get 8-bit Tetris. Aw, thank you. I'm so glad you think I'm nice to listen to. I have actually had that said to me a lot, that people really like to hear me talk, which is nice because when I was your age, people kept telling me to shut the fuck up and that nobody wanted to listen to me because I was annoying as hell. So it is very nice to know that those people were just being mean, or at the very least, that was just their personal opinion, and not just an immutable fact about my existence. And I do mean that like genuine, like it's silly, lighthearted, but I do mean that genuinely. That that I do like that you think I'm nice to listen to. And like, but people like Radfem, for example, do not believe they are misogynists. So to put like misogynist or like racist, DNI, when for people a lot of times genuinely don't even think that they fall into those categories when they do. Like, for example, some people think they're not transphobic, and then they turn around and they say transgender men have male privilege, and they should sit down and shut up when it comes to discussion on feminism, because they're men. First of all, cis men also have a voice in feminism. Feminism isn't just about women. It's not. Like, it's just that, like, generally speaking, people who are considered to be women, and I say that specifically because that encompasses not just actually like cisgender or transgender women, but also people who are not women who are considered to be women by the society that they live in, aka people like myself, who is a transgender man, who is not a woman but is considered to be one by society at large. Um, they are we are like the class that is the group that is considered to be, or women are generally speaking the ones who are more in need of rights. However, notice how that class includes transgender men. But it doesn't mean that like people who are not included in that group, people who are considered to be men, um, also trans women and trans men also fall into both groups of people who are considered to be women and people who are considered to be men, because the enemy is simultaneously both incredibly strong and incredibly weak. I don't remember where that quote came from, but it's a very famous one about the nature of oppression and how people talk about us. You notice it in how people talk about, for example, people of color, especially black people, especially black men. Black men are somehow simultaneously not nearly as good, as white men, but also they threaten every aspect of white life, somehow. Don't ask how. The fact of the matter is that contradiction is built in, um, to to the system, basically. Like the fact that the nature of it being contradictory is not an accident; it's on purpose, and it's because it's to get different people. But we'll get into that later, maybe. Um, because when you're trying to give a bigoted message, you want to make sure it reaches as many people as it possibly can, so that you can get support on all sides. More pistols. Anyway, I'm not making more pistols right now, but I could if I wanted to. I simply do not. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put. How the fuck do I? How do I? How do I fire these things? Actually, how the fuck? How does this mod work? Sorry, I gotta figure out how the fucking guns work. Anyway, um, but like my point was like, okay, so in my card, I don't necessarily have a DNI, but I do say like, okay, if you believe or don't believe these things, we're not likely to get along. Um, and I don't mean that to be like, you know, oh, we can't get along. It's more of like, these are things that I'm very like, you know, hard line on. Um, so if this is something that you agree or disagree with, we probably won't have a whole lot to discuss. Um, if that makes sense. Like, on for example, one of the things is that, like I was talking earlier, if you do not believe that transgenderphobia exists, we probably will have a problem, because it first of all it does. Um, yeah, but also like, you are not gonna have a good time with me. Like, and so for that purpose, people having ridiculously long DNIs is somewhat good for me. Because Oh, sorry, I just realized that the auto mod grabbed a bunch of stuff that I didn't. Bullying. That's not bullying. Sorry. I did not notice that it was being that the fucking auto modder was working. But can't be a man because he'll have makeup and nail stuff and flirt. First, bitch, I'll put my coach in your face. Yeah, but like also, you know, there is also potentially something to be said about how what we consider to be manly or girly behavior is a cultural also. Um like if I have to see another person say that uh an indigenous man with long hair is GNC, I'm gonna throw up on them, like a seagull. Like a lot of seagulls do that. They vomit on on their opponent. Well, especially baby seagulls and skuas, I believe also baby skuas do this. But anyway, um, on Minecraft. Okay, there we go. There it is. Son of guns new. Um, how? Where do I? How does it work? Oh, it has to be C. Yeah, it's like on one side you get people tell you they're not okay with certain things, so they get along with it. On the other side, you get people with Mendy. That's so crazy to me too because then people will be like, "Oh, it's just to keep myself safe or whatever," and it's like, aside from the fact that that won't help you, like, okay, what all that you're doing is so what's here's what's gonna happen when you put like something like Men DNI on your DNI. Here's what's gonna happen. You're going to get a couple scenarios, but this one is the one you're probably going to find the most often. The only men who are going to interact with you are going to be the assholes who are going to make you subconsciously reaffirm your initial bias, which was like, oh yeah, men are all shitheads because they're not respecting this and they're being mean. But the reason is because the good men, the men who, you know, care, are like, oh, I don't want to violate this person's boundaries, so I'm not going to interact with them. So you, whether on purpose, by design or not, yeah, by design or whether by design or not, you are reaffirming that all men suck because the only ones who are going to be interacting with you are going to be the ones who don't care. And you're also telling the ones who do care that they're never going to care good enough. Like, there will never be a standard to which they will reach that you will be like, this is good enough. You have proven to me that you are a good man. Because you won't. Like, and a lot of people don't see it that way, which is another thing too. They do not see what they're doing as being like that. They don't see it as exclusionary. They don't see it as bad because for one reason or another, they won't expand outside of their mind. And in a similar way, antis behave when it comes to the idea that fiction, like what someone enjoys in fiction and what they actually think and feel, don't always line up. And I'm going to use myself here as an example because what I'm about to tell you will probably make you feel a little crazy. But bear with me here. So, in case my Discord username didn't make it clear, I'm a big fan of fan kids, which, if you don't know what those are, they are effectively fan made children, as in, you know, non canonical children, um, of one or more canon characters for a fictional setting which you don't own. Because if you own them, then they're not fan kids because they're yours. Um, there are different terms for, like, children for OCs that you have that are not canonical. those are usually called hypo kids, or some depending on whether they're human or not, hypo kits, or you know whatever. Hypo kits are very common in like for people who have warrior cats, OCs, and stuff, or like animals. So men D&I is fine, but I say I don't want my thirsty for men transgender posts to be interacting with people who are only attracted to women. I'm lesbophobic misogynist and ruining Easter, Daniel. Yeah, that did actually happen to him, by the way. We're not gonna go too into it because there are children, but we are adults with NSFW blogs, and yeah, and so like he wanted to make it clear that the blog was run by a gay transgender man, so do not like people who are attracted to women probably aren't only attracted to women, not just attracted to women, only attracted to women. Probably aren't going to find a lot here because it's not, you know, this isn't for them. And someone said, "So you hate lesbians?" And he's like, "No." But you had also had experiences where people had reblogged your posts and assumed that you were a woman on the post, and you were like, "No." So, like, you're equating lesbian straight men, I never said that. Also, like, I don't know. There's really not... This also reveals a fundamental issue in understanding the problems with straight men, because it's not because they're straight men, it's not because of their attraction. Which, ironically, actually plays into this argument about pro-shipping and anti-shipping, but I'll get there. Trust. This podcast will get there. The great thing about my streams is that I don't actually have to be... I don't actually have to, not ramble. Yeah, hate on machinery on my boyfriend on my post. Yeah. So, it wasn't about, like, by the way, I don't think that, straight men and lesbians should be here. It was more like, hey, just so you know, this isn't about women, like, ever. And people were like, so you think straight men and lesbians are the same? And he was like, no. Also, not all lesbians are exclusively attracted to women anyway. There are plenty of lesbians who are attracted to other genders, which may or may not include men. Get that torch off the center of my... I love it. I love holding the torch in my offhand so that I have light. Because, then you just keep putting torches everywhere. I need to get a lantern or some shit. How do I do that? Get those brownies out of here, god damn it. And that's how you... I see. I need iron nuggets. Anyway, because, like, anyway, but, like, yeah, as I said, it's basically, like, kind of subtly, like, whether they intend for it to or not, it's reinforcing, the ideas that they... Yeah, I'm sorry, do you want me to... I can turn it down, hold on. Let me make this a little... Let me make Minecraft a little bit quieter, how about that? Wait, that's too quiet, I don't think you can hear it anymore. Okay, there we go. What the... Sorry, it just looked kind of weird for a second. Oops, that's not what I wanted. But, okay. Well, it also spooked me just a little bit, too. I was like, what the hell? That music's kind of loud as fuck. But it's like, yeah, you're reinforcing, you know, your own beliefs. And of course, it's not that, like, you know, it's like that, it's not that that itself is like a moral failure or whatever. You know, because like all humans will do that. We all will seek out, um, we all have a natural... What the... What? Ah! What the fucking shit? I'm gonna... actually die, but it's fine. I think I threw something over here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Leave me alone. Oh, my door. What the hell? Oh. Oh my god, they're actually just destroying my shit. Good thing I have my keep inventory on. Oh my god. There's 4 of them. Jesus. Kill. Alright. Sorry I had to fucking kill everything. Where's my door? Did it just... Is it just gone? I think my door is just gone. It got obliterated. No more of that. Claymore and Aruba, anything? Yeah, no more of that. No, technically, but also yes it is.
I'm asking a Tamagotchi game.
Oh.
I'm just like, does Tamagotchi qualify that as a
Oh.
vegetable or not? Because I'm not sure if they would.
My door. It got absolutely destroyed. That doesn't make any sense. I have it.
Okay, it seems like no, but all other potato dishes are.
Oh.
So,
Alright.
okay.
Okay. Sure.
For some reason, mushroom is.
Why is
Single
this
fucking
weird?
mushroom.
Don't even worry about it. I don't even remember what the hell I was. That's fine. I know that they said they had to go, so I don't quite remember what I was. But it's fine. It's fine. Now I have to deal with the aftermath of that. It's because I have the gun mod. By the way, I knew that like when it started. But I didn't think No more of that. I turned off that mechanic, what they just did there. I turned that off. So that can't happen anymore. So well, not like that anyway. Not like that. There will just be normal pillager raids. And not whatever the fuck that was. Yeah, and I do too, and that's kind of the problem. That's kind of the problem is that I know that he could probably make it work, and that's like kind of terrifying. So for the world's sake, I sure hope he does. Yeah, I was gonna say you got it from somewhere. Do I? I think I need a ammo type pistol ammo. Do I have to put it in my offhand? Is that how that works? Nope. I need to get more iron. Get in there. Good fucking god. I need to figure out also what to do with all this damn copper. I have so much damn copper. I have no idea what to do with it. I remember what I was doing. I was collecting sand and gravel so I can make concrete. Do I have... I do have a chest that needs another chest. Oh my word. Fucking Sonic blasted, bro. I have to get a cheapie to play with. Yeah, that's fair. Still, though, you can't deny that it's perhaps a fair and legitimate concern. Oops. It's fair of me to be worried about what your father might be doing. I don't know if you did. You might have, but I cannot remember if you ever told me about a paintballing. Ow. My time. Sea pickle. Oh goodness. Uh-huh. That makes sense. Normal story so far. Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. I need to find something to shoot. Interesting thing that I didn't think of. Oh yeah, there's shit over there's like structures and shit over there that I totally forgot existed. Mm-hmm. To build camaraderie and trust, yes of course. Phantom gunners descended from the skies. Fucking where? Ah. Ah! There you go. Oh. The trust building exercise was team paintball. I'm sure there's no way that could go wrong. What the fuck is up there? Holy shit, how would you even get up there? What the fuck is over there? Well, it's a fire. But of course it was team paintball, because that's not a decision that could possibly go wrong. That's over here, right? Oh, it looks like there's a village down there. I just shot a creeper to death. Apparently, after half of them got taken out quickly, they were able to. Wow. Yeah, I may have realized just a little bit lopsided. Yeah, just a tad bit. There's more structures off in the distance. I love exploring. Guys, I love exploring Minecraft. Ah! It's another fucking zombie with a shotgun, isn't it? Return fire. It builds? Oh my god. No, no more of that. Also, sorry for, killing it. What the Not this bullshit again. How many shots does it take to take one of them out? Well, that depends. The problem is I don't have... I just have the little pistol. So... My goodness. Well, actually, now I have a double barrel shotgun. But it only has 62 usages left on it, so... Better than nothing. Give me my lantern back. I also have a mod that lets me cook rotten flesh, which I think is pretty darn cool. I'm actually getting sick and tired of the mobs having guns, quite frankly. None of you bitches need to have guns. I've had enough. None of you. Zombified pigeon? No. Zombified piglin. They're only in a nether also. So. And I haven't gone there yet. Wait. Yeah, no, I don't think I have that in there anymore. Ooh, my ankle. I love bird, but hell no. Yeah, no, 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 don't worry, don't worry. No zombified birds here. Trash doves. They're not trash doves. They're just little guys.
I'm just a little guy. Fuck off.
Because always, they're just a little guy. I have no ulterior motives for saying this. He says while looking around, sweating nervously. I mean, I guess you could say that, but they're really not like raccoons at all. Like, pigeons are domesticated, so raccoons aren't.
I'm gonna say this is someone who loves.
Also, pigeons don't spread nearly as much disease as
I'm gonna
raccoons
say
do.
this is someone who loves trash animals. TM.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the same.
No, yeah. I also love trash animals, so it's not coming from it's definitely not coming from an anti-trash animal standpoint. It's just they're just not. Like, the only reason why they stick around the way they do is because it's like with feral cats, you know what I mean? Like, they should be in someone's home, being loved and cuddled. It's scary out here. The pigeon voice. It's scary out here. Please help me. Yeah. People. I do think it's really funny how pigeons adapt to the people that they're around, like from whatever wherever they're from. It is a little bit funny. Yes, very polite, very demure, very businesslike. Gotta cost. Yeah, that happens. It's always great whenever your cat gets hungry because it's like you've never fed them before. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, unpheasant. Sorry, my fiance is yelling about Pokemon. But it's funny with cats because like every time you go to feed them, it's like they're like, you are literally trying to starve me to death and kill me. Um, in fact, I believe very firmly that you've never actually loved me. You know, type behavior. Wait, 1 second. I'm not actually going anywhere. I'm just switching to the BRB screen real quick because I'm gonna add a mod that I saw that I didn't think I needed, but now I realize that I need it very desperately. I also think it's funny how like far behind my the stream the YouTube stream is because it's like it's really far behind um my the Discord stream. Or not the Discord, the Twitch stream. Why did I say Discord? Well, maybe it's because I'm tired. Don't worry about all that. Tired. I'm tired. I have to stay awake for a while anyway, so yes, okay. Hmm. Is she? I need to find. Well, actually, I can't. I need to find. The trash can has a lid. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's pissed. Cats when you stop them from killing themselves. What the hell? Maybe I will just. Ah. Alright. Just trying to lick the Lysol bottle. Well, the answer to why is probably because he's your son. Minecraft time. Alright, there we go. Oh, an update is available. Hold on 1 second. I thought I would only do that if I already licked it, cleaned it, and put like, well, yeah, but I meant like, you know, he's a cat, so he's less smart about the whole thing. He's a little less flair, a little less pizzazz. Sorry, I'm just doing a thing real fast. All right. Why is it so loud? All right. Reload. That's what I was looking for. Where's my home? Don't try to eat me. I'm being attacked. Oh, I've fallen my bones. Also, yes, in case anyone is wondering, my Minecraft skin is in fact Mario guy. Yeah, I know it's like the greatest thing ever, isn't it? Flashlight. If you know, you know. And if you know, then you know I love you. Oh, Mori, upon you I bestow the highest honor, in parentheses, trauma of child death. This is the highest honor any character I enjoy can have. Aside from, you know, being transgender, that's the other one. Like, the other highest honor is definitely being transgender. Hello, Cole. I need to go mining. Pick up all the little pieces of tree. Severe family trauma in some form. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, like knowing your care how your characters are. Yeah, I would agree. That's what I would say. It was like, oh, what's a Daz characteristic? I'd be like, well, probably some kind of horrible family trauma. Oh yeah, there's the hive. Oh, that's another hive actually. There's that makes two. Where did my goddamn house go? Because not in that direction. I think it's in this direction. Every day I lose my house. Don't ask how when it's stationary and doesn't go anywhere. There it is. What was I? Oh yes, the other torches. And you can go over there for now on. It's actually kind of funny though the trend of that because it's not like a obviously it's not like a purposeful trend of like, oh yeah, I get really attached to this particular character and then I give them some kind of they either have it canonically, which is much rarer, um, or at the very least are somehow in a way kind of implied to have it. Like I guess you could argue that canonically Mori is kind of implied to have not dead child trauma but lost child trauma of some sort. I just think that it would make a ridiculous amount of sense, like for his character. Hi Tolka. It would just make a ridiculous amount of sense for Mori's character for him to have some kind of trauma over child dying. That's fair. Homework. It'd be like that sometimes. No, yeah, I mean, same. I also be for characters who are completely original, or at the very least exist in at the very least now exist in their own because like technically some a lot of my characters that I guess are like I guess quote completely original unquote are oh it's because my helmet broke are they started um they didn't start that way but they are now. What the fuck? What the hell hurt me? How? What is your how big is your damn hitbox? What the fuck? Alright, that's it. It has to be. What the fuck was that shit? Or maybe it's how it's coded. I don't know. I don't need to worry about that. I should go mining. Mining! We have mining to do.
God.
Rock! But no, yeah, even in characters who now are in, like, universes that are considered to be original, you know, they all have some kind of trauma because no fucking duh. It's not that it's impossible for a traumatized author to write a non-traumatized character, or, like, character that, at the very least, doesn't have a lasting trauma, I guess? Like, because if you think about it, everyone's traumatized at least once in their lifetime, but not everyone continues to be affected by it. You know, some people actually, like, the trauma is either relatively minor, or they're able to, you know, adapt and overcome in a way that does not, you know, results in them holding on to the trauma, or it doesn't, like, change them as a person. Um, However, I certainly am incapable of it. Like, it's not impossible, it's just that I personally am not capable of doing it, so. You won't catch my ass doing it. Back in the mines again, kids. So we back in the mines. I don't know. I actually don't know the rest of the song. I only know the actual song. So we back in the club. The body's rocking from side to side. Thank God the week is done. I felt like a zombie gone back to life. Back to life. Hands up. Suddenly, we all got our hands up. No control of my body. Think I've seen you before. I think I remember those eyes. Mori. It's Mori. It's our beloved Mori. Hashtag Mori time. Every time is Mori time when you're Cho. I hear skeletons. Somewhere. Skeletons rattling in the distance. The dogs, they wobble. You should. Get another piercing. Do it. And if anyone tries to stop you, bite their fingers off. Just do it. Just like a baby carrot. Just chomp. Oh lord. I fell into a hole. But it's okay. It wasn't very far. I just don't want to not have a way to step down. And now I'm going to mark it. Well. Ah, I see. Okay, I just want to make sure I got everything. I'm just putting these down so that I have a path marked. Wee. I love you, Vein Miner. Mwah, mwah. Literally, I don't understand some people who are like, when they hear how, you know, other people will, like, you know, use mods and stuff that make playing Minecraft a little easier. You know, whether objectively or just for them. And they're like, mine make it easier. It's not how you're supposed to. Shut the fuck up. I play Minecraft for me, not for you. No one ever said you had to do it. At least I didn't say that. Let's go back and get that coal. Call me a miner from the 1800s or 19 or whatever, because I'm about to get that coal. And I can do it without getting black lung. I'm banning black lung. Hell yeah. There's more up here. I love it when vein miner sometimes just clips through the wall and mines a whole vein through the wall, but you don't know that because you can't see it, so you just have to kind of guess. I love you, kitchen gun. I've emerged. Want it to be now. Oh, though, do you know what? Do you know what? Never fails to make me and my fiance emotional. The apparatuses that the miners made for the canaries to revive them. It's like, oh, you know, humans can be unfathomably cruel, but we can also create little resuscitation devices for canaries and coal mines. So, I don't know about you, but I have one that I like to. I have one that I like to focus on. Yeah. Well, cause like the canaries were necessary, but also they didn't like the thought of them just dying. So they made little resuscitation devices for them, and it's like, wow, okay, shit, fuck. Like if they could save them, they wanted to save the canaries too, and it's like, well, fuck, okay. Especially since the term like canary in a coal mine type thing is sometimes used to describe like something being expendable, but like it's pretty clear that wasn't really the case, at least not for a lot of people. They didn't see them as expendable, you know. In fact, if they didn't have to be expended, they would rather them not be. I think sometimes people get too caught up in like, you know, some of the a lot of the bad stuff that people do. And like there's a lot. I'm not going to like sit here and pretend like humans have never done anything bad ever. But like we also do things that are really great, and we do them a lot. And it's not fair. I think like some people kind of unfairly are like, "Oh, humans are just like the worst, most awful thing," and it's like we're really not. We're just creatures. You know, like at the end of the day, we're just guys. Like we're just animals. It's just that the type of animal that we like, the way that we are, is like we are very special. At least as far as we can tell, we are very special. So going ahead of everyone else and probably not returning, but it's more sacrificial than just expendable. Kind of. I've heard it in both contexts, I think. So I guess it depends. It really just depends on who's saying it and like what context they're saying it in. But regardless, it's still an important thing I think for people to remember that like we're not like horrible irredeemable monsters. We're just also animals. It can be kind of shitty sometimes, but I would argue not uniquely so. The only behavior humans exhibit that any other animal doesn't, that we don't, at the very least, we don't know of any other animal to exhibit without being taught, is cooking our food. That's it. Even the worst, most awful things other creatures do. The reason why a lot of times people see it as so uniquely evil for humans is because humans have a concept of evil, at least that we can tell. We don't, if other animals have a concept of good and evil, we don't know about it. And they certainly don't follow ours. So. Can't remember how to. Oh. Wood. Hashtag wood moment. Wood. Said while pointing at a picture of a middle-aged man. Wood. But me when there's a middle-aged man in the media, and it's just like the Foxy jump scare GIF or whatever. Corvid's understanding good and evil would be the end of all of this, I'm afraid, or at the very least, the end of our single-handed dominance over the globe right now. Like if Corvids could understand like good and evil, no, there would be nothing. I don't think there'd be anything stopping them anymore. That and if they had like opposable thumbs, like then it's like extra Joker because it's like yeah, I was gonna say. But also, it's very possible that Corvids could team up with a creature that has opposable thumbs, like other apes. So, why didn't I just all around me? They do team up with wolves, yeah, I know that. I just meant that like if they for some reason Corvus decided they wanted to become a real threat to us, they could always team up with another ape because there are already like we share a lot of cognitive capability with our closest relatives. So oh yeah, I could hopefully not. I don't see chimpanzees working with corvids anyway though. They'd probably just eat them. Like given the way that chimps are. Not to say that they're like again, not like uniquely bad. It's just that chimps trend towards violence. But if they teamed up with like orangutans or something, you know. What was I doing? Oh, I remember. I need more iron. So I can replace the iron that I am currently using when it comes time to be replaced. Also, I always thought that like emerald could only spawn like really really deep down, but I found some like way up top on this mountain. I was like, huh, interesting. God damn it, I just fell. That's not what I said at the time, but my God, yeah, that would be that would actually be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Kinda cool. I eat cans. Kinda cool. We'd be cooked, but it would be really awesome. I mean, it would either be that or we'd be forced to contend with, another species that would be capable of, rivaling us. Either coexist or, not coexist. I also don't think that, like, humans are intrinsically, like, what's the word? Like, so sometimes when people talk about, like, the possibility of humans, you know, going, like, meeting other, like, life forms and stuff like that, it's in a very, not, um, optimistic way, like the way that we would treat um the resulting creatures. And it's like it's not that I don't understand where you're coming from, but I do think that it makes it out as though it is simply human nature to respond in this manner and not like a thing that is reinforced through societal norms. Like, Europeans didn't come and colonize and, kill people and stuff like that because they were Europeans. It was because their society and its rules at the time told them that they were like, they were the most important people to ever people. And all their civilizations were, nothing compared to them. And, it didn't really matter how they treated um, the indigenous peoples because they basically weren't people. Um, because if it was just a European thing, then the colonizers in Roanoke wouldn't have been saved by the indigenous population. Yeah, I mean, but like if that were true, if it was just in their nature, if it was just the nature of Europeans to do that, then they wouldn't have saved the colonizers at Roanoke because they would have the people in Roanoke either would have tried to or succeeded in killing the natives, but they didn't. Like they had conflict before the leader left, the guy John whatever his name was. Um, but um, once he left, and they were like, "Shit, man, fuck, we're here by ourselves, huh?" Uh, attitudes fairly quickly must have shifted because we know they got taken in. That's how they lived. It's not a mystery if you know anything about anything. Like the mystery of Roanoke, it's not a mystery. Heart emoji. It's only a mystery if if you insist on it being a mystery because it's not. We know what happened. Oh well, okay then. But it's like it wasn't just like the natural way of things. It's because that's how their society told them to act. So, which is what I think a lot of people like kind of fundamentally get wrong about a lot of systems of oppression. It's not because the oppressor is fundamentally bad or there's something within them that is just insists upon them being this way. It's because they're told they can be this way and they should be this way. Like I it is to a degree like the nature of most animals to want to have their own territory, or at the very least have the territory like for them and their group and their family, stuff like that. Like um to want to protect and defend, what's there, and to group up into their groups and such. But that doesn't have to include like, horrific levels of violence. In fact, it often doesn't. It's kind of like how the initial ideas on what happened to the Neanderthals and the other Homo sapien species we coexisted with were initially really violent. Like, oh, they like killed the men and took kidnapped the women and raped them and stuff like that, and to explain like hybrids and stuff like that, and like why the DNA of some was found in of not Homo sapiens are still found in Homo sapiens today, and then it just came. Now most of the consensus is, well, because that's what happens when populations meet, they have sex. It probably wasn't any more violent than like general, so like it wasn't like the type of it wasn't like how sexual violence today is like, often predicated on control and stuff like that. Like maybe we would have considered it violent, I guess, but like it wasn't like it's like how a lot of people think that feline sex is violent and it's not. It just looks and sounds like it is. But well, I mean the violent part comes when the female sometimes will smack the male around, but like that's not it's not because she's in pain, it's because it's what cats do when they're overstimulated. They start biting. Which coincidentally is also what some people I know do when they get overstimulated. Start biting. Said affectionately. I can also be one of those people if pushed, but you have to push me pretty far. But I don't like when people like kind of insinuate they think that like humans are like just kind of um hardwired to like, you know, what's the word, hate. When it's like we're not just we're like a hypersocial species. Like our babies die if they're not held and cuddled type shit, like we're not any more evil than any other creature is. It's just that, we have the capacity to understand the concept of something being evil, and as far as we know, other animals can't do that. So, like, when you look at it from our perspective, your own perspective on your own species, it's like, well, yeah, it looks pretty bad. But, like, you know, that's just because we're the only ones that we know the thought process. Ah, fucking shit. Where the fuck? Who's shooting? Y'all aren't supposed to spawn. You are not supposed to spawn with guns anymore. What the fuck is that? Skeleton. Jesus. Where the I told Turtle we sacrificed Star for my birthday. What the hell? Why? Why am I being sacrificed? Ah! Oops. Oh, I killed myself. I was trying to. I did it. I did it to myself. It was an accident. Oh, that's why they kept fucking spawning. Jesus Christ, the chance for skeletons to spawn in with shit is so high. Are you okay, Daz? Oh, yeah. Hashtag relatable. Gently pats you. Oh, I need sticks. Two, 200, what? Do you mean 2 p.m. or 2, 200 what? Oh, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I get you. Anyway, I am going to go so I can prepare to take care of the cats and then also go to bed. So, thanks for accompanying me, fellow.